Good morning, y'all. Y'all are about to watch a video on dumplings. First, I wanted to tell you two things. At the end of the video, I show you the dumplings, but what I didn't show you is I ended up making some more flat dumplings and adding to it, and it thickened it beautifully. And I'll actually go show you. I got it out. That's what they look like. Yum. Yum. And also, there is a blooper in the video. And it's something you see. It's not something you hear. It's something you see. And it's not the camera's falling. The camera falls twice. So it's not the camera falling, but there is another blooper. If you notice what it is, and if you see it, leave a comment below. There's no prize or anything, but we're just going to see who recognizes it first. So, y'all have a great day. Enjoy the dumpling video. They were so good. Y'all, they were so good. And I made, oh my word, we're going to be eating dumplings all day, I think. So, we had them last night for supper, and we're going to have them again today. So, y'all, we are headed to church. I'm going to start our, we're starting our second service today. God is doing great and mighty things. I hope you go to church. Y'all have a great day. Thank you for watching The Farming Pastor's Wife. Enjoy this video. Hey guys, and welcome to The Farming Pastor's Wife. Thank you for joining me. We've had several people contact me and ask me to show them how I make chicken and dumplings. So that's what we're doing today. Chicken and dumplings. Yum! Okay, so today is our fall festival in our local town, Asheboro, and there's actually a little bit of a chill in the air. Not chill, but I mean, yesterday was 90 degrees. Today it's in the 70s and upper 60s, so that's a little chill compared to yesterday. So, many people had asked me to share how I make chicken and dumplings. I make them 3 different ways, and we're going to do the 3 different ways. Look, y'all got to see this. What you got my bread flour for? He's pushing around my bread flour like it's a car. I just hope it don't spill. Anyway, I make chicken, the dumplings part, 3 different ways, and I'm going to share all 3 of those ways with you guys tonight. One way I call flat dumplings, which are the ones that are rolled out and they're flat. They're more like a noodle than they are a dumpling. Then I make the drop dumplings, the puffy drop dumplings, just like a dough ball, basically, like little bitty dough balls in there, or not little bitty, but you know. And then I do one that I call working mama dumpling. A working mama dumpling is an easy dumpling. There's no work involved other than just doing the chicken. So that's what we're doing. We're getting ready to head out to the fall festival. Let me show you what I've done with my chicken. I just used chicken breast. I would have liked to have found a whole chicken to pull off the bone, but I knew going to the fall festival I wouldn't have time for that. And so I just got skinless, boneless chicken breast, and I've seasoned up my broth. So in here, I have brought to a boil, I think it's 4 or 5 chicken breasts. I have put a bouillon cube in there. I have put poultry seasoning, and I have put some sage. So you can season your broth however you want to. If you make chicken soup, season your broth like you would chicken soup. I like it to have that hearty, that fall flavor, and so I always put poultry seasoning and sage in there, and a bouillon cube. Now I use the Knorr bouillon cubes, But they also have this stuff that comes in a jar. It's called chicken base. And you can just take a spoonful of that, and it's almost like a liquid, like a pudding type consistency. And you just put it in that, and it dissolves real easy, and it's delicious. We use that a lot in our chicken stew that we make. So either way is fine. But so that's where I'm at this point. I brought it to a boil, turned it down to simmer, put the lid on it, and just letting it simmer for a while till we get ready to leave. And I'll turn it off and just let it sit. I'll just let it sit, and when we get home, we'll finish up the dumplings. So y'all stay tuned. It's a chicken and dumpling kind of night, and we're going to have dumplings 3 different ways. Okay, y'all, we are back from the fall festival. Got a little bit of update to tell you. While we were gone, we found out we were going to be having more company. So as soon as we got home, I put on 3 more chicken breasts. So I have a total of 7 chicken breasts cooking. And I have them in 2 separate pots, which is good because I'm showing you multiple ways to do dumplings. So that's a good thing. Another thing, which ended up being a good thing, but could have been a bad thing. I was so excited to go to the fall festival. Guess who left the stove on? But I did have the chicken on simmer. I had it on low. None of the water was gone. And let me tell you, that chicken was so tender. With the chicken breast, you know, sometimes when you boil a chicken breast, it's hard to get that tender. These were so tender. I mean, it cooked. It cooked all day. So these that I've just, when I got home and cooked, probably aren't going to be quite as tender. But, so yeah, I have a total of 7 chicken breasts. So let me show you what I'm going to do now. And I'm just going to go ahead and get this part of the chicken and dumplings out of the way. Now, you can thicken your dumplings however you want. You can make like a slurry with cornstarch and water, or you can use some of the chicken broth and make a slurry. I use cream of mushroom soup. I mean, not cream of mushroom, cream of chicken soup. And I'm going to start with 1.5 cans per pot. Because the flour that's going to be on your dumplings is going to thicken it some as well. But the cream of chicken soup just gives it a richness, a more depth to the flavor. I love it that way. But if you try it with it, try it without, see how you like it. So I'm going to do 1.5 cans per pot, and then we'll kind of readjust and see where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and set you guys over here. Forgive me moving you guys around, I'm sorry. All right. So we'll go ahead. This one's really hot because this is the last pot I had out, and the other ones had time to cool off. All right, so there's the 1 can of that. Let me just stick that in there real quick while I open the other cans. Y'all, we actually have a lot of company coming, so I hope this video turns out and I'm not running around, because we love company. We love people to stop by for supper. Okay, so that's 1.5 cans in this one. I'm going to just finish putting this one in here. I may need to turn this on, help it dissolve. And like I said, if you guys would rather use, you know, you can, like I said, you can make a flour, you put flour in here and let it boil, or you can make a slurry with cornstarch. There's multiple ways to thicken it. I just like the soup. It gives it a richness, and then the flour on my dumplings will thicken it as well. So I need an apron on. I've already got something on my shirt. Look. Ah! Brand new shirt. Oh, always, always. Okay. So we're going to take this whisk and we're just going to kind of mix that up. Did you see how it changed colors? Alright, I think the 1.5 can is going to be perfect. I think that's going to be perfect. Now, if you want to drain your broth, you know, because it's got, you know, I don't know what it's got in it, but I got all the chicken out. But you can drain it if you want to. I don't, because I just don't. Now, had I cooked it on the bone, like a whole chicken, like I wanted to, I might, because I wouldn't want any bones or gristle or anything in there. But these had no bones or no gristle. All right, so now, y'all, I'm cooking for a crowd, so my recipe is not going to be probably what you use. You're going to have to adjust this, and I will leave in the description below. This is kind of iffy here. In the description below, I'll try to leave a normal person's recipe. The thing is, I don't typically measure. I just go by feel. I am going to measure today, and so I can give you a starting point of where to go with your measurements. But you may have to tweak it a little bit. And you'll see there's a lot. I mean, I'll show you what it's supposed to feel like, what it's supposed to look like, and then you can kind of go from there. And I'll give you a starting point on your recipe, and you may need to add more milk. You may need to add more flour. You may need to, you know, add the rest of the half a can of cream of chicken, or delete half a can of cream of chicken. In my normal recipe, I would just normally put 1. So, I have gnats in here so bad, and they're driving me nuts. Okay, so the soup's in. I'm not quite ready to make the dumplings, but I'll bring you back in just a little bit when we are. Okay, y'all, we're ready to make dumplings, but first I want to show you this big old bowl full. This whole entire bowl is full of chicken. Full of chicken. So I'm going to set it out of the way. Cover it back up with tinfoil. Alright. So we're going to start out with making the flat dumplings. The noodle-like dumplings. And this is my old antique enamel bowl here that I love and adore. Let me get this out. Alright. I'm going to start with, there's 1, 2, pretty much close to 3. I'm going to leave a little bit in there. 3 cups of flour. Now, I would normally use regular Crisco, but I'm out of my regular Crisco, so I have some butter flavor. I'm hoping this is going to be okay. I think it'll make it just extra delicious. And I'm going to use about 1/3 cup of Crisco, and I'm just eyeballing it. I'm just going to eyeball. Now, let me show you how I used to blend up my This is how I used to do it. I used to take 2 forks and come in. Now I have the pastry blender, the pastry, that, you know, kind of semicircle thing with the blades. But my Crisco always got stuck up in the blades. But after watching a few of my other people I watch on YouTube, I've seen a couple of them have what they call a blending fork. So I had to order it. And guess what, y'all? It changed my world. But this fork, using 2 forks is I mean, that works. I've done that way for years. But the other thing, the Crisco would get like stuck up in it. Okay, I think I about got it off. Like kind of getting stuck up in it like this is. Okay, so here is the blending fork. And I just go around and cut it in, and it works wonders. Now y'all, let me tell you, there's going to be flour everywhere because that's just the way I cook. And I hope I've got some more self-rising flour somewhere because we're going to need more. Okay, now I have measured out 1.5 cups of milk, but we're going to, and I'll tell you the actual measurement when we're done. I just know by the feel. So I've measured out 1.5 cups, but we're going to slowly go in with it. This is the same way I make my homemade biscuits, except I use buttermilk. This is sweet milk I'm using. The only difference with my biscuits versus my dumplings is I like my dumplings a little bit drier than my biscuits. Alright, so there goes in about 1 cup. Alright, y'all, I'm going to take my ring off because I'm going to probably have to go in with my hands in just a minute. And I basically just want to get all the dry flour into the moisture flour. Now at this point, I'm just going to drizzle a little milk where the dry stuff is. I'm not pouring a lot because I don't want it to get too wet. It's okay if it does get too wet. I mean, because you can always add more flour. All right, y'all. I believe we're about there. Let me put just a little bit to dampen it, just a little bit. Yep, there we go. And we'll pick up some of that dry stuff on the edge. All right. Let me go rinse my hands real quick, and I'll be right back and we'll start rolling these out. Okay guys, so I am just going to flour my board here. And we're going to turn this out, and we're just going to knead. And you want this, like I said, you want it drier than your biscuit dough. Now, at this point, where it's at right now, if you like the big fluffy dumplings, you need to stop now. Because you would just come in here and in your bowl and spoon out and just rake. Spoon, rake, spoon, rake. Now, we'll make those in a little bit. But that's where you can stop at this point. And I'm just kneading this, I don't know how many times. And my cutting board's kind of small, so I'll actually probably cut my dough in half and roll it out in halves. Sorry, y'all. I jerked the table a little too hard. All right. And now we're just going to start rolling. Now you want this pretty thin. Thinner than like a fried apple pie. You want it thin. So it takes a little while to get it there. if it starts getting kind of sticky, see, my cutting board is small. I need a bigger cutting board. Now, my family is kind of a mixed family. Caroline likes the fat dumplings. Isaac likes the thin ones. And I like either one, basically. I guess I prefer the thin ones now. Used to, growing up, I thought they had to be fat and doughy. But now that I've started making my own thin ones, I guess I like them better thin. And I don't have a special shape. Okay. I think that's pretty good right there. Now, I don't know what this thing is. It came from that, we're, you know, a ministry family, and they send you things that you want to get printed. And so they send us free gifts, and this was in there. And this is what I use. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. If I got any flour left, just going to like smear a little bit on the top. That'll go in the broth and help thicken it up a little bit. And I just cut them into strips. I basically cut them into little rectangles. Now, if you left these a little bit thicker, they would plump up a little more. Oops, that one, I got these too small. I didn't mean to. Oh well. What you doing? There's Bryant.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Okay, so this is basically the thickness and the size. I'll put it in the palm of my hand.
So it's like two inches by 2 inches.
Yeah, here's actually a perfect one.
That's more better.
Yeah. So 1.5 inches by 2.5.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, I have a question, everybody. Did she blame me for all this?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't told him.
Okay. Well, you want to go and tell him?
He put on Facebook what I was fixing for supper. And
Yep.
then,
Because I brag on the farming pastor's wife.
and then we had some friends say, well, what time should we be there? And so he told them what time.
And because I like fellowship.
I do too. So they're coming. And that's why I had to add more chicken. So that's what he means, did I blame him?
It's okay. We love doing ministry and fellowship. It actually works out really good because the house was really clean from the hen party that we had here Thursday night.
No, it wasn't. Judah spent the night with us last night. It wasn't clean.
Yeah, the hen party. That's that Scentsy candle thing that she made me go to.
It's not candles.
It's wax you put on a burner.
Yeah.
It's a candle.
It's not a candle.
Candles has got wax. But anyway, so we had that little Scentsy shindig, and I was the only rooster at the hen party. She made me stay. Can you believe that?
But he loved every second of it.
Yeah, I loved every second of it.
Especially when he had to clean up the spills that were happening.
Yeah, we did have some spills, but that's okay. Life has spills. All right, back to the dumplings. Here we go.
All right, I'm just stacking them up. You don't want to stack them.
Oh, look at there what happened.
See what happens when the farming pastor comes in.
All right, here we go.
I'm not wanting them to stick together. I'm just stacking them up to get them out of the way.
Hey, we got to readjust.
Sorry, guys.
Back up and pump. You didn't quit recording today.
No.
All right, here we go. Tell me when. Tell me when.
There you go.
Okay, here we go.
All right, so I'm just getting them out of the way so I can get some more flour on my board. And once my broth and soup over there comes to a boil, we'll go drop them in. Now, this dumpling may have fat dumplings and little dumplings. Because it don't look like I'm going to have enough dumplings. But I can always make more. If I have more self-rising flour, I can anyway.
It's going to be just fine. Why's that thing so unsteady?
I don't know. Alright, I'm going to roll these out. I'll bring you guys back in just a little bit. Okay guys, so I have finished rolling those out. And now I'm just cutting them. And I've actually put the excess over here in the bowl I mixed them up in. So we'll just add those to the bowl here. Again, let me dust them a little bit with flour. Just doing a quick little dust to keep them from sticking mainly in this bowl as I transfer them over there. Hey Bryant,
Yeah.
Will you come hold the camera?
Can I do what?
Hold the camera
Yeah, I'll look. Wow, what you got going on?
when I drop them.
Yeah. Are you ready to drop them?
Yeah.
Are you recording?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so these are the flat ones going in. And be careful, it's going to slip off the tripod because that
Okay.
thing's coming off.
All right, here we go. Be careful. All right. 2 pots of dumplings. Green beans in the background. You see that fresh out of the farming pastor's wife's garden.
I tell you what, let's give this just another
You see that
minute.
enamel bowl she's using? She just washed my feet in it this morning.
I did not.
Yes, she did.
I did not. He's crazy.
All right, what you got going on, babe?
Well, I'm trying. I thought this was be boiling. Just hit stop for a minute. We'll come back when it comes to a boil. Okay, guys, as I was saying before, Caroline likes hers fat. Isaac likes his, the noodle kind. And sometimes we do kind of an in-between. You see how this one is thicker than this one? This one will plump up a little fatter. It still won't be a drop dough biscuit, but it'll plump up fatter and more doughy than this one will. So, we're going to head over here to the pot and we're going to get these going and then we'll come back and make the drop dumplings. Okay, no matter how tempted you are just to take your hand and rake, that's not the way to do it. So we're just going to put them in, and I put them in like, I'll put one over here, one over there, one over here, one over there, one over here. And you don't have to take all day doing this.
It's just beginning to roll. See, it's beginning to roll.
I'll turn it down just a little bit. You want it kind of a light boil. And once we get them all in, and we're going to put the lid on once I get them all in. Turn it down a little bit. And y'all look, the butter Crisco, look at the color in there. It's going to be so good. We're having slaw and green beans. Easy, simple.
Green beans.
And y'all, at this point, this is where I start getting tempted to throw them all in at one time. But don't do that. And just take the back of your spoon. Don't stir them because you'll break them up. Just take the back of your spoon and just push them down. Because they're delicate little things. And remember, our chicken's not in there yet, so we got to save some room for the chicken. And they're all floating to the top. The bottom's just broth. Do you keep turning it up?
I did just a little bit. Don't fuss at me.
He's turning my burners up when I'm not looking. Y'all.
I've taught her everything she knows.
Yeah, right. All right, we're about there. Don't stir, just push down. Take the back of your spoon and push down.
She's fussing at me.
Do we sound like two children or what? He's fussing at me.
I ain't gonna bring them back in a minute.
Huh? Yep. I'm finishing putting them up. We're going to put a lid on it. I'm going to push them all down in the broth. We're going to put a lid on and let it simmer for about 10 minutes, and then we'll come back and put the chicken in. Okay guys, so rewind back to where we were when I had initially made the dough before I started rolling it out. That's where you can start doing your drop dumplings. But I'm going to show you another way in case you don't have self-rising flour, in case you're not comfortable putting the Crisco in. Guess what you can use? Southern biscuit mix. Because all you're doing is making a biscuit dough. It's all you're doing. And I'm going to measure, I'm going to do about 2 cups of this. Because I still got to show you your working mama dumplings. Alright.
You don't have a pot for them, do you?
What?
The working mama dumplings.
No, but I'm going to add them in with these because it's basically the same thing.
Okay.
So yeah, the working mama dumplings, we're just going to add in with this pot of dumplings because it's basically kind of the same thing.
I'm just taking the fork and just slightly folding it in.
He acts like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I watch a couple YouTube channels.
He watches one.
Oh, Tammy at Collard Valley Cooks.
Ah, Tammy, I hope you watch this one. He watches you, not me. That's funny. Now this one can be a little bit more moist than the other one because you're not rolling it out.
She's getting anxious, can you tell?
Yes. I know y'all are tired of watching. Y'all want to see the finished product. Alright. So you basically just have a moist biscuit dough. You don't want it too moist, and it may be a little moist. That would be my fault, not his, because I was the one adding the water. I mean the milk.
A little more biscuit mix in it.
I am. Y'all, between the gnats in here, they're driving me insane. Okay. Alright, Dad, so come on, we're going to do drop biscuits. Drop dumplings. And you can use a spoon to do this, but, well, I probably need to use a spoon. That's okay, I'm going to use my hands. I'm going to set it over here, and you're going to video me from that side. Alright, I just took a peach and I rolled it up in my hands, and I'm dropping it in. Just taking a pinch, dropping it in. Can I see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Just a golf ball size, maybe a little less than a golf ball. I'm going to turn them up just a little bit. And they will swell up, so if you don't like them that big, you just watch how they do and make them smaller if you need to.
I don't like them terribly big.
Yeah, because if you make them too terribly big, they stay doughy inside, and you don't want them doughy.
Nope. Look at that.
Are you timing that for me?
Yeah. Not
Because
really.
I wasn't.
How long should we time it for?
10 minutes is.
Oh, it's been 6.5.
It's not been 6.5.
Good thing tomorrow's Sunday. Father, forgive me.
All right, I'm just going to finish dropping these in. They're starting to stick to my hand, so I'm going to get some flour. So I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, guys, so I've got them in. I have given them a little push down. Let me let you come over here and see what they look like. See, they just look like little round dough balls. And we'll look at these. And they're your more noodle type in there. Now, once we add the chicken, it'll disperse better. But now we're going to talk about your working mama dumplings. That's for the working mama who comes home, her kid's sick, and wants chicken and dumplings, and she doesn't feel like rolling out her own or making her own. Y'all. And this is how I made them for years. For years, because I worked. And this is when Caroline, my daughter, wanted chicken and dumplings all the time. And when she wanted chicken and dumplings, this is how I made them. Pillsbury buttermilk biscuits. Or any kind of biscuit will do. Now, you're going to want to get a can of the big can. I'm adding this in with my homemade drop dumplings just to show you how to do it. You don't have to roll these out. You don't have to do anything like that. You take your biscuit like this. Take a pinch. Drop it in. 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 I get maybe 5 to 6 out of one biscuit. You could actually cut it in half and half and maybe get 8 pieces. To me, it's not worth it. I just pinch and drop. Pinch and drop. Pinch and drop. Pinch and drop. And see, I can feel the lard and stuff that's in this biscuit. So, what I'm going to do once I get all these in, I'm going to push them down again, cover them, let them simmer for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to add the chicken to both pots, and we're going to clean up, and we're going to get ready for our company, because it's not going to be long before they're here. Y'all, tomorrow is our big day at church. We have outgrown our sanctuary, and so we are going to 2 services tomorrow. Which means, guess who has to be at both services? The preacher and preacher's wife. I'd have a hard time explaining why I wasn't at both. Probably not to anybody but to Brian. Alright, gonna keep adding these. And I've only got one more. So I'm gonna add this one. I'm gonna put the lid on, let it simmer for 10 minutes, and we'll be back. Okay guys, we're gonna add the chicken. This one, I'm a little worried if there's room for the chicken. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add about, I'm gonna start in there and add a few handfuls, and then maybe it'll sink down. Right, did you turn my green beans down? Did you turn my green beans down? He can't hear me. Alright, so now we're going to start adding chicken to this one.
Why do you always blame me?
Because you always do it.
Look at that.
Alright. Y'all, we have chicken and dumplings.
Made the Southern Randolph County Asheboro way.
Now let's stir these around. This one has more chicken than dumplings. You want that one any thicker? You think it's too thin?
You might can go a little thicker. How'd you other
This one's a little thin, so we're going to add this one's perfect. Instead of adding more soup, should I add more soup or cornstarch?
cornstarch?
We're going to do a little cornstarch slurry.
You want to tell them what your cornstarch slurry is? There she is in action. Look at that good looking blonde over there.
He's so crazy. I'm just going to take a little bit of this broth. One more.
About like so.
You may have to reach my cornstarch. You will.
Why am I going
Sorry,
to
he's
reach
going to have
it?
to reach it because
She's
it's in the back.
She's vertically challenged.
And I am vertically challenged. I'll clean up while he's doing that. Okay, so he got it, so I'm going to let him.
1 fork?
No, I do 2 or 3.
2 forks?
Get a good little amount.
3 forks?
That's probably good. He's just mixing that up with the chicken broth. I've turned the burner back on high a little bit just so it can get heat up and thicken.
Alright, the slurry is ready.
Alright, and we're just going to pour it in and watch it thicken. Y'all, I really should do more dumplings for this one, but I don't have time and I don't have flour. I could make them out of my biscuit mix, but I think we're good. You can just move over some of the fat ones into this one. I don't have flour. But these are already cooked, so. And you can see it's already thickening up just a little bit. You don't want it like thick, but just to give it a little texture. I'm going to get y'all a bowl and we're going to dish up some of each. Okay, guys.
Can you see it?
Can you see it? There's the dumpling, the broth. Like I said, the broth could be a little bit thicker, and you could put more dumplings in there. This over here is actually what I like my broth to look like. It's a little bit thicker. And you see the dumpling right here. And we'll cut it and you'll see it's a little dough ball, but it's been cooked. You can't see, but anyway. It's a little dough ball, but it's been cooked. So that's where we are there. Can we add a can of soup? You good? All right. We're excited. Our company's coming. I hope you enjoyed this video on dumplings. It's better to have too many than not enough, and I don't have enough. So I hope everybody likes the fat dumplings. So we're excited. The green beans are cooking away. The slaw is made in the refrigerator, and we're just waiting on our company to get here. Remember, if y'all saw the flaw or the blooper, remember, comment. We'll just see who the first person is to comment. There's no prize, just the attaboy. So, yeah, let's taste it. Let's taste it. This is the fat dumpling. That's good.
You need a spoon, not a fork.
Yeah.
Very good.
Let's try this one. Sorry, y'all. I'm cutting it with my fork. Alright, see? There is the dumpling and a little bit of chicken. I don't have any broth because I don't have a spoon, but anyway. So there it is. Mmm. So good. That chicken is so good. Seasoned perfectly. You think it needs any salt?
Just a little.
I'm going to salt it just a little bit and we're done. Y'all have a great night. Thank you for watching The Farm and Pastor's Wife. Remember, the grease is hot enough. You can fry anything. Bye, y'all.